Back on the Chamber Report time now for our segment that we have every month when our chair can make it. Because, hey, let's face it, they're business people. We don't pay them to be on the board of directors. They do it because they understand the mission that is the Chamber, and they support that, and they've taken those extra steps to be in the board. Our new guest here took the ultimate step, which is to become chair of the board of directors. His name is Andy Meyer. He is with the Bank of Elk River. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, before we get into all this business stuff, let's talk about you, your family. I know some exciting news is coming, might even be coming while we're talking. Tell them a little bit about where you live and your family.
Yeah, I live in Andover with my wife, Jessica, and my 2-year-old daughter, Blair. And yeah, like you said, we're going to be welcoming another baby girl to our family in about a week here, unless she decides to come early. So.
How exciting, big time stuff.
Yeah.
And I bet both you and the wife are ready for that to happen.
I think Jess is a little more ready than I am.
I kind of got to believe that is true. Okay, so as I mentioned, we don't pay you to be in the board of directors, so somehow you got to feed that family, ever-growing family of yours. So you work at the Bank of Elk River. How long have you been there, and what do you do there?
Yeah, I've worked at the Bank of Elk River for the past 8 years. I've actually worked there since college. I started as an intern.
Is that right?
And I've been in commercial lending ever since I started there. I started out as a credit analyst, and I've worked my way up to now I manage our SBA loan department. So.
And, all right, so, you know, COVID's still in the air. Everybody talks about it. You work through all of that. How are things as we're starting to come out of the pandemic?
Awesome, I think. I mean, it's those 3 famous letters, PPP. It sure is nice to be done with the Paycheck Protection Program, as we all kind of experienced that through the start and the beginning and the end of the pandemic. We're officially done with that, but I know it's still affecting our community. So. Yeah.
And is business moving forward? I know I see it. Do you see it in the banking industry?
Yeah, business is moving forward. I think we're in a kind of a weird time right now with interest rates going up, so it's kind of hard to predict where we're going to be at in the next 6 to 12 months, but business is still chugging along.
That's great. All right, so chair of the board, you decided to take a seat on the board and then said, what the heck, I'll take the steps. So last year you served as vice chair.
Yep.
Heading into your year as chair. We started a process in September. In fact, that was your first meeting as chair. Obviously, you've been on the board for a couple years prior, so you know the process, you know what we do. And we started talking about the strategy to action plan. And boy, one of the things early that came out of it is that we need to really focus on who our members are and try to grow that number.
Yeah, I think I kind of related it to my experience at the bank. We always kind of try and figure out our market share of where we're at. And I think we need to do that as a chamber, is identify our businesses that are members and what we can do to support them and make sure that their experience as members is still really solid and excellent. And then identify all those businesses in our community that aren't members and make sure they know the member benefits of being in the chamber.
And so it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And we're going to investigate. What I am most interested in, obviously, it's about taking care of the current membership. We've always had that mentality. We always will. And we always know we can do a better job. And we're going to work on that. So that's part of what Andy's talking about. But this not yet member part, this business part, is we start to get out there and really investigate. And it's been a while since we've done it, quite a while, in fact. Who are the businesses that are out there? And so we've got some identifying to do, and then we got to figure out a campaign about how do we go out there and how do we say hello and hope that we can get them in.
Yeah, and as we saw after this past year when we were doing our strategy to action plan, the chamber is in a really strong financial position that we can make some moves financially where we can get some, more information about our community to try and better identify businesses, as you said, that aren't members yet.
Yeah, and hey, nothing's free, so we'll be playing that game and we'll figure it out. And you'll be hearing about that on upcoming shows as we start to progress through. It's a year-long plan. And I will tell you this, one thing about the Chamber Board of Directors. So let's go back to September of 2019. So that Chamber Board was working on a strategy to action plan. I absolutely can tell you without a doubt that the word COVID was not part of that plan. And when all of that hit in early 2020, where you kept hearing more and more about it, and then in March, especially late March, it all hit. Well, the Chamber Board of Directors is a reactionary group, and they reacted quickly and did some great things. And that's what Andy's year will do. If something comes up, we will deal with it. If it's not on the strategy to action plan, that doesn't mean we're not going to deal with it. We will deal with it. Now, we're not looking for pandemic 2. okay? I know Andy doesn't want that. I don't want it, and I sure as heck know you don't want it. We are still in that mode of pandemic, and we are creeping out of it. And that's part of this with us looking at the current membership and what we can do for them and do better for them. And so the reality is that we will deal with the things that we know about, and if they come up, we'll deal with the things that we don't know about yet, and we will do that in the coming year. So we're looking forward to that. Lastly, your first official meeting was the annual meeting breakfast. You physically got to hold the gavel. I'm sure that was one of your big life moments right there. But what a great crowd that we had.
I couldn't believe it. I think it was record crowd for breakfast. It was awesome to see everybody there and support the chamber and induct our new board members and kick off the 70th year.
Yeah, it was great. And, you know, one of the big pieces for me, I love the hardware part. Like Annie mentioned, you know, we recognize people that retired from the board, gave Chris his gavel plaque for him being chair of the board of directors for his year. We also give a President's Award for volunteerism that went to Liz and Tim Cook from the Mad Hatter Restaurant and Tea House. We have our Ambassador of the Year that went to Joe McKenzie he's also a board member. He's with Cars for Neighbors. And then something brand new, about a year ago, the board talked about, you know, with 70 coming in and the rich tradition that the chamber has, and we're one of the oldest chambers in the state of Minnesota, that we should have a Hall of Fame. So a committee was formed. They started to do their due diligence, looking into names and just making some decisions. And we inducted 8 people into the brand new Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce Hall of Fame. And I'm going to be telling you who those 8 people were in the next show. They are absolutely rock stars. I mean, some phenomenal names in the past of the chamber, like Dick Mussel from Sotero, Bonnie Stoll from First National Investor Services, Bob Cross from Forever Temporary Services. There's so many people, and 8 went into our inaugural class, so that was really cool. All right, show 1 done. You're in November, so let's see, you run this through August. Heck, you're almost a third of the way through.
I'm excited to get going, Pete.
All right, so quick question for all of those people out there. We've got some commercial potential customers for you who want to learn a little bit more about maybe how the Bank of Elk River can help them. How would they get a hold of you and start a conversation?
Absolutely. They can reach out to our website at thebankofelkriver.com. They can find me under our business financing page. Especially, I'm specializing in SBA lending right now, so if they have any questions with SBA lending, specifically 7A lending or 504 lending, I'm your guy.
Great. He is a rock star. He is Andy Meyer. He is with the Bank of Elk River, and he is the chairperson of the board of directors of the Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce. All right, we're taking a break, and we come back. It's a segment you like best. It's our member profile segment, an opportunity for you to find out who some of the many members of the Anoka Area Chamber of Commerce are, and we'll do it right after this.